What's that? ASMR? Pop it. Whoa, there's a wasp. Jesus, holy shit. There is a wasp.
Oh, aye, so there is.
What the fuck?
You got that?
Is it
there?
even wasp season?
No, this is spring. Don't kill it.
It's a big one.
I don't want you. You better not kill that.
Get up on the mic. What are you doing here, mate?
Bzzz, some buzz, mate.
Alright, I've got it. Alright, I've got it.
Get a teaspoon full of sugar.
That's alright.
Get its energy levels back up.
I'm the wasp whisperer. Is that on, is it?
Aye. It's an opening.
My mate had a pet wasp,
A pet wasp.
and he had a leash on it. Like
Fuck off.
I swear to God. He put a wee bit of thread on it. He used to
Mate, that's
fly
not-
and he's no, I swear to God. It was in a house party, mad weckies. A wasp came in.
That's where we're starting, Ray. I don't. Right, I'm not eating. Don't eat any more of these poppets. That's impossible to eat.
My teeth are gonna fall off.
I bet a good clip as well.
Aye. I've not had poppets since I was like a wee guy. Like I didn't even think they made them anymore.
We were sitting next to a radiator for 10 minutes so they're actually edible.
I prefer a minty one myself.
I was going to pick him into ones.
Nah, you're wrong.
There we go. Opinions out the window.
Nah, you're wrong. Right, Chris is wrong. This is probably in the podcast now. So, like, so is this what episode one, Chris?
10. What a milestone.
Episode 10, and we've got Mikey Motion. You're officially on our double figures.
Yes.
Can't find my buttons, man.
Episode 10. And somebody told me recently that most podcasts, 99% of podcasts don't get past episode 5.
Would you know what to say to them?
Fuck yous! Fuck it up! Fuck all yous!
Fuck a system.
Fuck the system.
It's mental you say that because I've started 3 different podcasts.
Aye.
And not one of them has made it past the 5th episode.
So this is an incentive for you, Mikey.
Aye.
Get it done.
One day you'll hit the
Being
heights of this one.
consistency. That's all it is. It's consistency.
That's
innit?
what it is.
And the thing is, like, we've had 10 podcasts, and hopefully by 6 months' time, Chris, we'll have had 10 viewers over all of the podcasts.
Have you know we had 300 on episode
We
8.
did, I know, but I'm using self-deprecating comedy, putting herself down. See, I'm getting all sensitive there. Yeah, maybe get 300 with John McMustard. So, this is episode 10. Remember, follow us. We always forget to say that. You're meant to do that to start the podcast.
me.
Aye, we tend to put it at the end, but yeah, all the socials.
Follow us on social, the podcast, and come and see my show. This will go on the start of March. My stand-up show. Got to plug myself, Mikey.
I'll plug you.
Hey.
Sexual harassment. My show, 23rd of March, in Nice and Sleazy's. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so it means you could go to the show, watch the show, then get pissed after it. And one the following Thursday at 9:30. So you can watch the show, go and get pissed, then no go to work the next day.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. So you're going to that one, aren't you?
I'm going to the Blackfriars one.
The Blackfriars one, cool. That's awesome, right? So we've got Mikey who's smoking a vape.
Hello.
And we just before we've not even started, right? I don't know if this is recorded, but we just had to chuck a bee out, or was it a wasp?
It was a wasp.
Was it a wasp?
A wasp.
What's the difference?
Bees are like fat and fuzzy. They've got hair.
Right.
Wasps.
You've described me there.
Aye. Wasps look like like shaved bees.
A bit like me then.
Aye, they look.
Hey.
They look. But I think wasps look like
swole
wee
bee.
mechanical robots or something.
That's
Aye, 'cause
'cause
they've got like the kind of head and a wee thin bit, and then
Aye.
the fat arse.
Wasps are more dangerous, I think.
That's you started the
Aye.
conspiracy theory. Bees are real. Bees are from
These
the
are
government.
FBI.
Bees are from the government.
The CID.
The CID.
CID in Cumberland Hall.
So what happened is, like, so before we started, I don't know if I've got it recorded. There was actually a wasp on this.
Right.
And Mikey freaked out.
Aye.
He started screaming. He went, ah! What was your scream like again? That's exactly what we done. So we had to take the wasp out. And I done it because I'm the calm man of the group. I took the wasp out.
I opened the door for it.
You opened the door.
I did fuck all.
Coward.
Mikey went into the fetal position in the corner under the drums. He shit himself a wee bit. And I took the wasp out because I'm a fucking man. And,
It's quite a tame wasp.
that was a tame wasp.
Wasn't
aye.
he flying about? It was just sitting.
I don't know if it's
Even
like
that-
a fresh start of the spring wasp or if it's been like cowering in here through the whole winter and it can't fly.
Maybe it's just woke up. Maybe it's just like one of the hangovers. Like, oh, what a winter that was. Fucking hell.
What did I do last night?
What did I do? Is this? What do you mean it's March? Holy shit, man. And then Mikey and I, like, we've only started the podcast, and Mikey told me, it sounds like bullshit.
It's no.
Isn't he? So Mikey
not
told
bullshit.
me, you can tell me
And
this.
I'm a bullshitter.
We're all bullshitters. He told me his pal had a pet wasp.
Pal had a pet
His
wasp.
pal had a pet wasp!
My pal had a pet wasp.
Right, go tell us about that.
So, my pal had a pet wasp, and
What was his name?
Fred,
Right.
right?
Fred Wasp.
He called it Fred because he made it a wee leash, and
Right.
the leash was made of Fred, and it would like walk on his horn, and it would kind of like fly. It sounds fake, but it's real.
Right, was this back the days you took a lot of drugs, Mikey?
Eckies.
Right.
Aye, just like somebody's gaff, and there was a wasp, and somebody's. Well, I've got a pet wasp. Look, that's it.
So was it like a guard wasp? Did they have it? Was it handy for like if anybody came to break into the house, the wasp would start barking?
Aye,
How did he get the thread, ruin it?
don't ask me how, but he done it.
Did he like sedate it somehow?
No, I don't know. He must have trained it to sit still, and then he's obviously
Fred,
good at
sit.
knots.
How did he put it around its wee neck, waspy neck?
I like, he put it in his body and just like I don't know how he done it right, but
I
it
thought I done
happened.
that.
I've seen it with my own eyes. I'm not lying.
So how long did he have this?
Just that night. It was a pet wasp for a day.
All right.
Right.
And what happened to it?
I think somebody stood on it or something.
Oh fuck's sake, man! This is a sad story. Like,
Aye.
Rest
Rest in peace, Fred.
Fred. So this week's postman. What's that noise?
That was Fred speaking from beyond the
that was
grave.
Fred's
What noise
last.
is that? What noise is that?
It's called crickets.
Oh, crickets. That's a different thing.
I tell you, my pal had a pet cricket.
You're still full of shit now, right?
Full of shit.
So this podcast is sponsored by the Wasp Rescue. So if you want to get yourself a rescue wasp, then you get rescue dogs. You can get yourself a rescue wasp.
Cumbernauld Wasp Defence League.
Aye. You could get in the little
CWDL.
The what?
The CWDL.
All right.
It's quick.
That sounded like some racist
Was
group. That,
proper
didn't it?
sitting there going, right, see, come on, old W Wasp.
So if you want a pet wasp, like go to Cumbernauld Rescue Wasp Service.
Nah, they don't deserve to be rescued. Wasps are dicks. Have I offended some group online?
Oh,
here?
you're going to. Maybe that's what we need to go viral. Maybe we need to. You know, sometimes clips go viral when you kind of offend some specific group. So maybe we'll have the Wasp Rescue Service hanging out.
Any's ever been stung with a wasp or
Nah.
a bee?
Aye, one of them owes me a fiver. One of them owes me a fiver for a gig I did a few weeks ago.
Aye.
I see what I done there. No, I've never been stung.
I got
but-
stung about 5 years ago
Right,
on the nose, right, at a gala day.
right.
And there was this overflowing bin
Full
And
of
the-
wasps.
full of wasps and bees or whatever it was. I can't remember if it was what. I think I'm pretty sure it was a bee. And I've never been stung in my life.
Aye,
It stung me right on the fucking nose, man. Right there.
I can't.
My brother got stung on the bum once as well. He was fighting with somebody at the time. And a wasp.
Is that how you fight? Is that how you fight? Is that how you fight in Canvas? Like you don't
Aye.
stab one another.
Aye.
You
You-
got.
Pet- my mate-
I
it
would
was-
sting you in the ass, mate.
It was Fred. It was.
On his extendable lead.
Aye.
So it was like
Get
a,
him! Sick!
So you see what is it a dangerous like, dog breed? It's like dangerous wasps.
Aye.
So you need so if you've got a wasp as a pet, you need to get it registered before the end of May.
Aye, what'd you call them? The dogs.
Bullies.
XL
aye.
bully.
XL bully wasps.
So if you've got an XL bully wasp,
Richie Sunak is trying to get rid of them in Cambuslang, the wasps.
is
in
he?
it.
Aye.
Aye, they're banned.
Fair enough. Fuck the wasps. Right, anyway, we have start.
With a start.
We start. Well, I've got a starting thing. So today we've got Mikey Motion. So a big cheer for Mikey Motion.
Woohoo!
We've got that. And I've known Mikey. How long have I known you, Mikey?
I'd say about 4 or 5 years or something.
Maybe no. I think I actually met you the year during the pandemic.
Aye.
The first fringe after the pandemic.
No, it was the Fringe during the pandemic.
No, it was kind of just at the end. Well, it was kind of it was still the pandemic, but pubs were opened again.
Aye,
because you came to
it was a fringe that nobody. It was the fringe where every show was busy because nobody went.
Aye, because I was the only show on that year, basically. It was dead with comedians, but there was loads of punters for the UK that come up. There wasn't any people from other countries come in because they weren't allowed to fly in, but the UK had nowhere else to go, so they came to Edinburgh.
Aye,
I had a great year that year.
I enjoyed it as well. I think that was my first year at the Fringe doing like wee spots.
As you just started doing stand up at that point, didn't you?
And I think that the Fringe was busy. It was just as busy as any other Fringe, but there was not as many gigs.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? So that's how everybody had a good Fringe run.
I remember the first day that year. I turned up. The Globe Bar, I think, was on there about 1:30 or something. It was an early one, then a later one. And I just got there. It was all last minute, and I'm a bit scatterbrained that way. I didn't have time to go out flying. I just turned up to the venue dead late. That year I was travelling through every day because I stayed at the weekends.
Aye.
So I was travelling for Glasgow, and I just turned up, and a guy who used to go to school with, Brendan Hughes, turned up to see me. He was going to the
Brendan.
gig. Hello, Brendan. And he never actually, I didn't recognise him right away. He was like, fucking Brendan. But he was chatting to me when I was trying to set up. And I was like, I'm setting up my gig. And now you need to kind of think. Now you probably do that with music, Chris. You need to go over your set list and stuff.
Aye, and I'm always usually setting up like all the gear, setting up a PA and all that, and folk are asking me questions, and I'm like, no, they knew me.
Aye, that's what I was like. So I hadn't seen this guy for years. I was trying to set up. I was like, right, and my brain wasn't there. I just sort of come in and say hello to you because he wasn't going to the gig. He was going to be somewhere with his wife. I was like, good to see you. I was trying to work out I hadn't done a gig for like 2 years, apart from 1 5-minute spot in Manchester the week before. And I was fuck. Disney, and I was like, Disney matter. Nobody's going to turn up to the gig anyway because it's fucking the middle. It's dead. And so I done that. I spoke to Brendan. He went away. 5 minutes later, the room was full. So people from nowhere just turned up.
Started flooding in.
Aye, and there was people that seen me before, like people that seen me previous years and all that. I was like, holy shit. And there was actually a flyer that I'd booked for the second week.
Aye.
Who eventually says, listen, there's no point in hiring you as a flyer because I'm not going to need you.
Aye.
It's like I just went out and done myself a wee bit, but all the gigs were just filling up.
Aye.
Because there was less people were. I think it was the end of the pandemic. People were just dying to do things again.
Aye.
And there was less choice. So it was brilliant.
The first time I saw you was that day.
Aye, on the Globe. No, that day, but Brendan was there.
No. I say the first time I saw you was that day I met you, obviously, right? But I walked into your gig in the Globe, and it was quite full.
Aye.
I think I walked in about 5 or 10 minutes late.
Aye.
It was good, man. I enjoyed it.
I did turn up late, man.
Sorry. I just
You take your Wasp for a pish before you come in. Aye. I was going to come in late, but my Wasp was doing that shite.
tied them up with a wee pole outside it. That was good, man. I enjoyed it.
Right, so we're here to talk about Mikey, right? I know. So, like, you say you've done a few podcasts and you get fed up with the same questions. So I'm trying not to ask you the same. Shit.
No. Don't let that put you off.
No, I'm not. But that's how I'm just going to
ask me whatever you want. Just you're the driver, baby.
Why did you touch me in the car, Mikey?
Because you're sexy.
You're
a sexy guy.
Right,
look at him. Do you know what I mean? I'm into older men.
See, need for that shite. I'm now getting bullied this podcast, Chris.
Oh, you cried a lot last week about getting bullied as well. Maybe it's a you thing.
Maybe it is, aye. But what was I crying about last week?
Because I asked you to like learn a bit of mic control and I felt all this and all this, and then you were like, I'm getting bullied, I feel targeted.
But that's just the comedy persona coming out. That's all that is. It's like it's the self-deprecating guy that comes out. So stop bringing that up, right? So tell me your career. Just go. Tell me your story. So you started in DJing back in the day.
Aye.
How did that start? What did you do before that?
Just cut about in nappies.
Right, what was
before
that?
that shite.
Aye.
Hated it. Had to change my nappies, mate.
Did you?
Aye. No, I was into music through my dad.
Right.
So there was always music in the house.
His dad is Mick Jagger.
It's my dad.
Jagger.
My mum's
Celine Dion.
Celine Dion. I was trying to think of a good female artist there, but Celine Dion, we'll go with that there. That's my mum and my dad.
So what did your dad do then?
My dad was a Wasp trainer. He trained Wasps how to fly. No, kidding. My dad was he was a working man. You know, he was a grafter.
Right.
In the building trade.
Right.
So my dad was a hard working guy. But he loved music. And he loved all sorts of music. So it was like rock, pop, reggae, fucking new romantic stuff.
Aye,
hip hop, everything.
Aye.
So I grew up in the house listening to
country. Chris is into country.
My dad loves country, country and western stuff, all that kind of stuff. I grew up with all like music always in the house, and my dad's hobby was like finding new music and buying like CDs and records, vinyl. So I always loved music. I always loved like kind of singing the songs and all that stuff. And I think it was my dad gave me his old record player. So it was like one of the tower ones. Aye, so there was a vinyl at the top. There was a radio on it. There was 2 tape decks. And
I had one of them.
So
my gran and papa had one of them, and it took up like a whole wall in the living room.
Aye. So I eventually got that.
And nowadays you got everything on that.
Aye, or even like my watch does all the same.
Aye, you can do it on a phone now. So I got one of them in my room, and I would I suppose I was making tapes. I was like getting blank tapes and
I just recording for the radio.
CDs.
Was that not illegal, Mikey?
Aye.
So not only
I was a pirate.
Wasps, you're a pirate.
I'm a pirate. No. So that's kind of how I got into music, but obviously, you know, I was in school, even that was like primary school days, and then when I went to secondary school, I think I was 11, 10 or 11 or something, whatever age you are when you go into secondary.
11, 12, maybe.
Aye. And it was hip hop I was into.
Right.
That was like my first love, I would say.
Aye.
I was into like all sorts of rap, so that was new my hobby, like buying CDs and things like that. And the reason I got into DJing was because I loved. I didn't even really know what a proper DJ was. I didn't at the time. I didn't know what.
In my head, it's just somebody that just presses buttons with a laptop, just sits there.
That's what it's like now. That's what it's like. That's what it's like nowadays.
I'm a DJ.
Do you know what I mean? That's what it's like nowadays. But back then, it was vinyl, right?
Aye.
And I didn't even know that, you know, what a set of decks were, like a mixer. I didn't. But I loved the sound of scratching, right? In a track, and I thought that sounded magic.
Aye.
And it was my I think it must have been my love. It was when I was 11. I'm trying to think back. I'm not the best with numbers, but my auntie bought me a videotape. It was called Death Row Uncut 2 Gangster for TV.
All right.
Right. So it was this videotape where it was all these rappers' music videos. And in this video, there was a tune at the end, and it was a guy called DJ Quick, and had a set of decks in it, and he was scratching. So that's the first time I'd ever saw it, and I thought it looked cool as fuck. And I loved it. So for that day, I just started like, asking my mum and dad, begging them for a set of decks.
All right, aye.
And I was still like, right into hip hop at that time. So eventually, a couple of months later, it was the summertime. In fact, it was the last day, first day of the summer holidays. I came home from school in my room, and there was like a set of decks on my bed and a big bucket of records.
Aye.
And then when I was flicking through the records, it was like hardcore, happy hardcore. And when I was listening to
rave stuff,
aye. And when I was listening to that, there was rap samples in that as well.
Aye.
So all kind of just added up, and then that's how I fell in love with that.
Aye.
And I just started like making tapes and passing them about school. I kind of made a wee bit of a reputation for myself doing that.
Did you sell them, or did you just pass them out?
I suppose at one point I sold CDs.
Right.
I did. There was a few like different gala days up my bit, and I would take my decks up. I would have a stall, and I would like make like fucking 200 CDs and sell it free for a $5 or whatever. Right. So I made a good wee bit of money doing that. And I bought,
for that age, what age were you? 12 when you done that?
When I done that, I was like 13 or 14.
Aye.
And I sold all my CDs. I made money to buy new equipment and that. So I've always enjoyed music. I love DJing. I've always loved like being in front of a crowd,
Aye.
playing tunes, making people dance, and just like kind of controlling a crowd and stuff like that. Aye, so that's how I got into like music and DJing.
Aye. Cool. And you got about and all, didn't you?
Aye. So when I was making the tapes and all that, it's mad to think back now because see, like back in the day, collecting vinyl,
Aye.
it was a real collector's thing. Like just like the way you would, if you're a wee guy, you would swap Fitbit stickers.
Aye.
Go need. Oh, that's a rare sticker.
There's good money in vinyls now.
There still is, and they're up, even back then, I was paying like 180 quid for one record.
Shit.
And
what would you pay that? What would cost you 180 quid? What kind of what?
So just like
Would it be like a limited
aye,
version
so
or something?
right. So back then there was no internet, like there was no sites like social media or anything like
Right.
that. So the way we would find out about tunes is through pirate radio stations.
Right.
So there was like a lot of different pirate radio stations, and they would play good tunes. They would have rare records. So the more these pirate radio stations would talk about these tunes, the value would go up on them.
Right.
So it was like, and if you heard a tune, you didn't know the name of it, right?
Aye.
And you had no way of finding it, so you were just going into like record shops and try to sing. Oh, the tune that goes like do right. So that.
So what's the app that does that now?
Like Shazam.
Shazam. Right.
So
So
before Shazam, you had to get into a record shop and do the
aye.
guy, do the tune of
Aye,
the guy.
and you'd be doing that to everybody you met because this was a fucking full scale obsession for me.
Aye.
And it was like it was like a part of the culture.
Aye.
Like, it was like, you know, who had the best tunes, and like I said, these radio stations, or even like nightclub we would go to. Remember Archaeos?
I remember Archaeos.
So Archaeos Unders.
Guess I was too young for that.
Sorry.
Archaeos Unders was a rave, and they would have like proper raves in there, like with rave DJs.
Aye.
So the young mob would get to go, and that's where we started going. And these DJs would come in with these tunes, and everybody at the time, like there was like a wee kind of a community of people, like we guys with different schemes who were all collecting, and everybody wanted to have the best tunes.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, so we guys for different schemes would have
Aye, like I've got if you, like,
tapes.
Mikey's get fucking this.
So
You
would
go-
the DJ play the different stuff?
Aye, like DJ. What I'm trying to explain is like that's how the value in these records went up.
Oh, right, okay.
So, like I said, I had a paper run when I was a wee guy. Can you
Right.
tell? I had a paper run. I get a bit of pocket money, so I'd be saving that up to go and get these records.
Right.
And then I ended up at one point, like people for schemes all about Glasgow would come to my window and buy records off me.
Aye,
I was like 13 or 14, and I was
Get a wee
taking
drive-through window.
I was taking a lot of money.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
There was
Aye.
guys that were older that were coming back for their work, and I was taking their wages off them. Honest to God.
13-year-old Mikey was taking wages off you, but
and I was a good salesman.
Aye.
Because I was like, I could have got a tune for a tenner 2 weeks ago, and I could make somebody buy it for £90.
Right, aye.
Because I'd be like, oh, such and such is good, only they've got it. This is rare as
What was your
fuck.
sales technique? Because I'm trying to get better at selling myself these days. Right?
So I would just make the tune sound bigger than what it is.
Right, so how would you do that?
So-
that's like almost that movie. Sell me this pen.
Pen.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see the pen.
Right,
We do
right,
know-
sell me a pen,
Let me see the
Mikey.
pen. Right.
Wolf of Wall
Right.
Street here.
Got to sign.
Wolf of Wall
got
Street.
sign that for me.
I've got another pen. Fuck you. Get off me.
He's a shot of that pen. He's a shot of that pen. Sign that for me. See if he whips another pen
Another
out.
one,
He
let me
means
see
this. He's fucked. He's got. Who comes about with fucking 4 pens in their pocket?
Fucking 5
He's
pens.
got 5 pens.
There's more, maybe. There's more. Is there more? I think there might be more.
No, this is questionable.
There's got to be more important things
6
to
pens.
carry.
6 pens.
Obie, why the
Okay,
fuck have you got 6 pens in your
don't know.
pocket?
I think it's just one of these things because I've always got the idea of writing
So
stuff.
obviously,
Always need a
right,
pen.
this is how I'm going to sell you a pen, right?
Right.
You love pens. You're
Oh,
obviously a pen
fucking
collector.
love- Aye.
Why not
See,
have another?
use that,
Right, you
use
see.
that, aye.
So, but what I would do is like, see, the thing is, I had it done to me, right? I got see the decks that my mum and dad got me,
Aye.
and this big bundle of records. I had no clue what the tunes were, what they were worth, but they
Right.
were. There was rare tunes in there, and they were worth a lot of money. So
Aye.
older guys would be flicking through and be like, "Oh, I got bumped." And then as I kind of went into like 11, 12, 13, 14, I knew.
Aye, you knew it. You just
Aye.
because you were into it.
Because I was
you
into
knew
it,
was valuable,
I knew
aye.
the patter,
Aye.
and aye. And did I
When
feel
you
bad
used the
about it?
patter, Use
No.
the patter and other guys.
Aye. Like you could say things like Active FM plays this, nobody's got it. Nobody's got this, rare as fuck. And he'd be like, I don't really want to sell it, but he'd be like, oh, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know if I don't know.
Aye.
And he'd be like, oh, give you this, no, give you that. And I'll be like, all right, and take it, but don't get to anybody else.
Aye.
If you're going to sell it back to me.
Aye.
I don't know if
was
that's
all-
going to work for your gig tickets, though, is it? Like, oh, I don't know if I want to sell these.
Aye, but no, but I'd maybe say like, I don't know if I want to sell it to you. No,
you look
that's
dodgy.
worked before. Like I don't know. I've actually heard Raymond Mearns doing that.
Right.
Where somebody will come here asking them, I mean, I don't know if this is for you.
Right.
I don't know if you're marking the
Aye.
audience.
Oh, it's
And
just-
that's
it
kind of
raises-
a
See,
work.
I'll tell you one thing. That's worked for me one time,
Aye.
right? I done a live radio show thing, right? It was
Right.
it was during lockdown. I used to go live on Facebook,
Right.
And
I've seen some of your
aye,
stuff on
and
Facebook.
a guy who I knew would put it on the radio. So while
Right.
you're watching me on Facebook, it's live on the radio as well,
on a pirate one.
on a pirate radio,
All right,
right?
okay, aye.
And I put up a post saying, "These are tunes that you probably won't like." That's all I
Aye.
wrote. And then it was fucking jumping.
Aye,
Probably,
totally.
probably one of the streams I had like the most views on.
Aye.
That's all I said. I'm like, these are tunes you probably
Right.
won't like.
That works.
It's the reverse psychology.
I
What do you
done
call it?
Right, I'm like in the festival. I'm pretty good at flyering. Right, I've used different things
Aye.
over the years, and there was one day I went out and like you've been to the festival, you've seen loads of flyers,
Aye.
and they all look the same.
Aye.
They're all
Yeah.
trying to tell you how good their show is. So there's one day I went out and I just went mental. I was in the Beehive. I was an early show, like 12:30 or something like that. So I just went out. I had a couple of quiet shows, and I just went around going, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is the worst show you've ever seen at the festival. It's absolutely shite. Don't come, you probably kill yourself. This is terrible. This is absolute shite. I don't know why I've been doing this for years. I've never got one laugh in my life."
Aye.
I just come round and there's people taking photos with me and all that. I go, "Do that? That's funny that it's original." And that day I was rammed.
Aye.
3 shows, there's people sitting on the floor and shit. And I'm just going, "This is shite. Like, don't even take this flyer. It's
Aye,
pish."
because-
like, I don't like. I think I'm a comedian. I'm fucking not. I'm delusional as
Aye.
fuck. Come and see my
See
show.
that, right? So if you think you're the Fringe, right?
Oh, wait a minute. Who's this? What? Well, mixed up a pop.
Aye, give me the one with the least in it. No, if you think you're the Fringe, right?
Aye.
People, it's the biggest arts festival in the world,
Oh, it's huge, man.
right? So it's packed every day. Now, every single flyer is going up and doing the same thing. Come to this show, it's brilliant, bro. Heard it.
Aye.
See, as soon as they see somebody doing something a wee bit different, and it's funny as well, because you're
Post-it
like,
notes work for me or not.
aye, so that is something, I think it's different. That's why people are what I cut. I mean, I think I'm a good flyer a day because I can talk and connect with people.
Aye.
I can't flyer for myself.
Aye.
I can't do it. It's just I'm shite at it.
'Cause
But
it's like,
somebody else's show, I can big them up. Let's see with the Wholesome Prison Blues.
aye.
I was getting people in there, like good amounts of people in there every time I flyered. And it's because I was selling the show and other people.
Aye.
But when I start talking about myself, my face is on the flyer.
Aye.
I can't do it.
It's like that thing. If somebody says to you, "I'm brilliant," like, look at me, I'm
Aye,
brilliant. they
nobody
go,
wants to hear that.
You just sound like a dick.
Aye. You sound like a dick.
That's how
You look
that's how
like a dick.
saying, "Come and see me." Like, I'm lonely. I'm shite, but come and see me. But
Aye.
see, I guys, in the reverse psychology, if you tell them you're shite, but you're making them laugh while you're saying
Exactly.
that, they'll go,
And that's what the best comedy is, isn't it? Self-deprecating, isn't it?
Aye.
So you're doing that before you even get to
Aye.
the show. So aye.
because I always try to, like, the way in, when people are waiting in the queue, I always try to talk to them in the queue, so I've already built a bit of rapport with them.
Aye. I like doing that as well. That's what I've done at the Vibe Room every week.
Aye,
People were surprised to see me on the stage because I was a door guy.
aye.
And then they come in and they're like, oh fuck, that's so
That's the guy.
I always tried to make I done it every time.
That's the guy that took her eckies off us the door.
What I used to do is stupid wee things, but it would make every single person that walked through it, make them smile and laugh.
Aye.
And I'd done the same thing every time. It was, I said, if you get a ticket, and when they would whip the ticket out or they would show their wee code, I would stare at it in my hand, beep. Something stupid as that, beep. And I've got a wee chip in my hand, beep. I did it every, Paddy and that fucking help. I would do it to everybody, but because then that way you've made everybody laugh.
You never beat me when I come in.
No. You don't need beeped. You don't need
but I would appreciate it. Can you beep my Can you beep my pop?
We hangs beep.
Yes,
There we go.
You need then beep, Chris.
Beep that singular poppet.
Beep. There we go.
Yes,
It's so shite, but it puts a smile on people's
It's
faces.
just sometimes a wee thing gimmick.
Aye, that's a good thing, man.
It builds a connection with people, doesn't it?
Aye, yeah.
Right, so DJing, right?
DJ.
So, right.
Aye, saying aye. Right, so you were asking me like I got a bit, but basically, at a young age, I was into it. That was like what I was into, and then I think it was my brother's 12th birthday party. Aye, so I would have been.
Brilliant party.
Aye,
Party.
right. No, right. So I was only like.
That sounds dodgy.
I was only. I was
22 at the time.
There was a guy
I was only
walking a
15,
Wasp.
right? But it was basically my brother wanted me to DJ his party, right? So, I mean, all I had was decks. So,
You're like 15, you're like a lot older than him, so that's kind
Aye.
of, you're like
Aye,
the cooler
right.
older brother.
aye, something like that. So, basically, I had my decks and I had a wee hi-fi in the house, but to do a party, you need speakers and an amp.
Aye.
So the next thing, my mum's like, all right, we'll go and get you speakers. So me and my mum went up to Scobridle one day to try and find speakers. Remember the shop, Crazy George's, was it?
No.
And it changed to, what was the one you went in and you got a fucking PlayStation, you paid it up for
Like
about
Bright
€9.
House or one of
Bright
these.
House, that's exactly what it was.
Aye, you got somebody's stolen PlayStation.
Right, aye. So we went to Bright House and I think my mom's pal worked in there and there was a guy serving and my mom's like, I'll try to get speakers. And this guy came out in eBay and said, I've got big giant speakers and an amp, I'll sell you them for 50 quid.
Was it some guy that stole them?
It was a guy that worked in the shop,
Oh,
but
right.
you want to see the size of these? I can remember the make of them, they were Jamo, but they were fucking bigger than me.
Aye,
They were they were huge, right? And there was an amp and all that. So I got all that set up in this wee community hall and I had took my vinyl round, I done it. And then once I'd done my bra's party, all these wee pals were all turning the same age at the same time.
That's you're big on the 12th birthday party circuit.
So I was pretty big on the 12th birthday circuit, right?
Okay.
So that's where it started, right?
So 1 minute 12th birthday parties, disco bride, then the world.
No, well, listen, that's kind of how it happened because I started doing them, and then, like I said, I was passing these tapes about. Older ones for the scheme were always chatting my window for a tape, so they were all turning 16.
You left to the top floor as well. Didn't you?
Big giant horns. No, so they were all turning like 16 and 18.
Aye.
So I started doing their parties.
All right. So you were younger than them.
Younger than them. So I was doing like 16s and 18s, and then I was doing 21st.
All right, that's cool. Aye.
So
Sorry, can I pause for a second? This
Aye.
camera's going off its nut.
That's all right. This is our 10th episode. First time we've had any technical difficulties.
bad luck.
No, we have a wee break. This is a wee break. Have a wee.
Put a sponsored advert in here. Manscaped, here we go.
Manscaped. What's happening, you bad motherfuckers?
You're going to a 12th birthday party, shave your pubes.
I don't think I had pubes when I was 12. I don't.
Right, we'll do
We'll
that
jump back
story.
in, right?
Right, no, tell that story first, right?
Right, then we'll go back.
Right, well, right. So if you're still watching, there's been like I don't know what's happened. There's probably been a point where it stopped and started again. So we were talking about the 12th birthday parties and stuff. That sounds dodgy as fuck. That sounds dodgy as fuck out of context, right? And the camera point to Mikey kind of messed up a wee bit. Chris, what happened? It just stopped working,
I don't really know.
but it's working again.
We're on again.
It's fine.
So it took about 5 minutes, and Mikey, we'll go back to where we were.
Aye, we'll go back to where we
an
were.
interesting story before we go back to that.
Oh no, you were talking about doing a podcast, an hour full of silence.
Aye, so like, see if you want to, like, this fucking Chris wanted to let me do it. So I want to do a podcast where it's just me and Chris sitting saying nothing for an hour, and they'll not let me do it. If you would like us to do an hour of silence, post. If we get 5 comments saying we're doing an hour of silence, we're doing it.
No.
We're doing it, right? So,
Imagine you're driving, right? I get my Apple CarPlay comes up in the car and it's like, new episode of the Fuck It List. And I'm like, yes, here we go. Did we put like the theme song at the start?
Aye.
As usual. So it's like the wee tune. The fucking tune. And then
we can do the plugs at the start, sponsored by like the pub thing. And then sponsor the gigs. And then we go, thanks for listening. And then, aye.
And then everyone thinks that their Bluetooth's broken in their car.
No, but they'll talk about
And then there's accidents all over the country with everyone fucking about with their phones.
Right,
all over the
Mikey,
country.
Anyway, if you want us to do that, let us know. Right.
So will I go back to the birthday parties?
No, the story you were
The
telling
story,
us,
aye. So you're talking about silence. So I've been having these dreams where I'm about to go up and do stand-up comedy.
Right.
Now I used to have DJ nightmares.
Right.
Where I would be on the way to a gig. It would be down south. I was playing down south, so I'd be on the rave bus on the way down.
The
rave bus. And when I was getting closer to the venue, I realised, shit, I've not got my music with me.
Right.
So I would have to then get the bus back up to Glasgow, and then would be heading back down, and I'd miss my set. So that would that was a nightmare. And then it started off progressing into turning up to the gig. The DJ's on before me, everybody's all gone mental, everybody's loving it. And then I'm about to go on and the tune's running out. And then I've not got a tune to play. And then everybody starts booing and leaves. That's what it used to be. And then I started getting
insecure dreams like that, man.
And then I started getting stand-up nightmares where I would turn up to a gig and I would about to open up and I would look in the front row and it's like my gran and all my wee aunties. And I'd be like, fuck, I can't.
You were talking about masturbating.
I've no clean material.
Aye.
But now I've been getting this dream where I go up on the stage and I'm meaning not to say anything.
Right.
And I'm just looking at people.
See, he's got a concept.
It would be funnier live than on a podcast, though.
Right.
Nah.
And then when I come off, somebody says to me, you've stole that. Somebody else does that. You've stole that off somebody. You've stole somebody's material.
I has.
But I'm not even saying anything. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I'm getting now. But anyway.
Did Andy Kaufman do all this stuff like that where he just... You ever seen Andy Kaufman?
Andy
I know that
Kaufman
name.
was more shock factor, wasn't it? Like just doing mental characters and just like insulting people as Tony Clifton and all that.
He's brilliant.
But I'll go back to the birthday parties.
Right. Go back to the birthday parties.
So
this was about 10 minutes ago.
So basically, that's how I got into like performing live. Right, I was doing the birthday parties for people, and then I got to like. By this point, I'd done loads of parties, and then it was the next thing you wanted to do was play in a club.
Aye.
So I started getting booked for like wee gigs in Archaeos, but it was like Archaeos is like a massive complex. So there was
remember it vaguely.
there was loads of different rooms, so you kind of started at the bottom.
There's big beds and stuff in it, wasn't
Aye, there was big bed. You would start at the bottom and work your way up.
Aye.
So I was doing gigs like that, and then I ended up entering into a DJ competition.
Right.
It's called Glasgow New Breed DJ competition, and it was in Archaeos. It was in the room 2 in Betty's, and I would, by this point, like we were already sort of like gone to raves, and all my mates were into it. So there was like 50, 60, 70 of us like getting buses, going to raves up and down the country, and but so everybody wanted to come and see me. So I entered into that competition, and I think there was like something like maybe 300 people entered into it for like or and about, and
Fuck's sake, man.
Right again.
Aye. And we're back again.
So we're back again. There's been another wee edit. So we've now got 2 cameras. So Chris isn't in it now. So it's the same. So we have Chris, but you can stick her.
Yeah.
So Chris is in there, but aye, because I've talked to because the other camera was on Mikey wasn't working properly. So aye.
So that competition, I ended up coming second in it.
Right.
Oh,
well done, mate. Who won it?
Thanks,
George
mate.
Bowie?
No, it was actually we're pals now, but at the time we were kind of
mortal enemies.
And we weren't rivals, but
was it Blur and Oasis kind of rivalry?
no, it was one of the ones where you're like, oh fucking, you want to be the best sort of thing. But my pal Joe Craig, who we've ended up like we DJ'd loads together, and we've kind of got a wee band sort of thing, made tunes together and stuff like that. So
you were enemies at the start.
I wouldn't say enemies, but it's like a wee bit of rivalry. Do you know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that. So through that, I ended up getting asked to play at an event in Archaeos in the main room, which was a dream to play there. Right.
There was a big room with that.
I
huge. Remember it was only a handful
and it was the place to be, man, at the time. I got asked to play for an event called Twisted and Brainfire, and ended up becoming their resident.
Archaeos.
When I was 18.
So what year would that have been then? So what age are you now?
I'm 37.
So
I'm not good at maths, but I was 18.
So 19 years ago, 20 years ago,
about
roughly.
About that. And but I'm still the resident for Twisted. So I've got a 20-year residency through it and played it.
So you still do that?
Still do it.
Obviously not for Archaeos because it doesn't exist.
No, for Archaeos. That was just like one of the venues they used.
So Twisted. So that's
Twisted and Brainfire.
So that's like a rave kind of
a
night?
Rave, aye. Just
so where do they do that these days?
Oh, everywhere. All the place.
So it's just like a brand, like
it's a brand,
rave
man.
Brand,
so we ended up doing it in Spain. I DJ'd in Spain for 7 years in a row in Lorette de Mar.
All right, brilliant. That's a big hall. I've never been there, but it's like...
And the club was called Club Colossus. Amazing venue.
That's a big venue, isn't it? I've heard it.
Superb. So we done...
Is that like BCM level kind of size? The BCM from Mallorca kind of level?
It was an amazing club, man. So we done that, and then we ended up got a Ibiza for like 7 years in a row as well. So I done Eden, played in Eden, played in...
Eden Festival down south?
No, the Club Eden in Ibiza.
Who was that again? Oh, Ibiza, right. I've never been to Ibiza.
Es Paradis as well. Which was
the big clubs.
Aye, they were big, and then loads of other big places in Ibiza, boat parties, fucking. I done a rave and I've DJ'd in a theme park. I've DJ'd in an outdoor skate park in Manchester under a fucking motorway.
What was that like?
Brilliant, man. Fucking mental. Where else I've DJ'd in fields, just fucking mad places. But that's how I ended up getting a boot, because of them, because of it.
Because it was huge, the kind of rave scene was huge. Still is.
It still is. It's blew up in a different way now. Social media is just making people pop all the time. And
so is it more? Is it younger people listening those days? Because DJing was like a 90s, 2000s
Put
thing.
it this way.
The rave stuff.
When I started going to raves, I was like 18. Well, I went to the Unders event, so I started going at an early age. But when I was, 18, that's when we started like raving and going to actual raves. Now, when I was on a bus going to a rave, it was everybody was older than me.
Aye.
Right, but I mean, even when I was DJing at Twisted and Brainfire and Archaeos or wherever else they held the events, everybody was older than me. Now I done a Dark Side, got a tattoo. Dark Side.
Right.
That was like a spin off of Twisted and Brainfire.
Right. Okay.
Dark Side has ended up going bigger.
All right.
Right. So it's like
that was like what was it? Happy Days, like Mock and Mindy was like a spin off. Mock and Mindy became bigger.
So what I'm trying to say is I'm getting old and I've grew up.
Fuck off, man.
No, listen. So I DJ'd
You're all compared to Chris, but no me.
I DJ'd in the Classic Grand 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And it was sold out, like you couldn't move in the place. Right. And
was it just your night, that one? Or was it just you? Was there other DJs on?
No, there was other DJs there. I was like, it was loads of big acts for Holland, Italy.
Now, who's the big acts? I probably wouldn't know their names, but
probably in that scene, the biggest one is probably Angerfist. You
right.
Heard of Angerfist? No,
but it's not really my scene.
No. So that's probably like one of the biggest names. But what I'm trying to say is, I went to that gig and I've been the resident for them for 19 years.
Right.
And that was like older than most of the punters.
Well, you were older than most of the punters.
How long I've DJ'd there? They were all 18-year-olds.
Right. Right.
Like
so 18-year-olds are going to that now.
Aye, right. It's fucking huge. Like, but it was a classics night, so there was like a portion of the people that used to go, the older folk.
Aye.
But it was just everywhere. It was just fucking like 18-year-olds.
So the rave scene's kind of staying kind of younger, mostly younger kind of generation. Aye.
Like,
when you get to a certain age, you go, fucking, there's You don't want to dance about it. It's the high energy and stuff.
I still like a good rave and that, and it's harder for me now because I don't do what I used to do.
Like you mean by Eckies and shit?
That was one of my things. Like I was DJing at these big festivals and big events, but I was the most madwit person at the rave.
Aye.
Because I wasn't going. I didn't really. I took it. I would say I put about 15% into taking it seriously and being professional, even though that's what I really wanted to do.
15%.
Aye.
And the rest just having a good laugh.
The rest was just me
taking drugs and shit.
Aye.
So what were you into drugs wise? I know. Who's got the drugs section?
Hi friends, it's Chris. I must apologise for the interruptions that we had throughout this episode, thanks to the camera, whatnot. I'm trying to work on it. A new camera here, trying to sort it. I do come bearing a bit of news. That is that this is actually the end of this episode. It was about to get very interesting. But as it happens, the episode with Mikey naturally falls into a sort of, here's the first half, it's all about it's about that Wasp for a start. And then we had the good wee kind of interview about the DJ and stuff in his past. And you'll see just where I've cut it, where we start getting into the drug stuff. It leads to, quite frankly, in 10 episodes, the best content we've ever made yet, and I look forward to you hearing it. But I'm sort of under pressure time-wise for editing it. This needs to get uploaded tonight to be out for the usual Thursday night, and I just didn't have time to edit that full nearly 2-hour episode. So you're getting this now as this week's Thursday episode, but I'm going to edit the rest and you're going to get it as a sort of bonus episode 10.5, and I'm going to try and get that out on Sunday, so you don't need to wait another week. It'll be out, it should be Sunday. It's going to be amazing. There's utterly insane stories that comes from the drug chat, and I look forward to you hearing it. But I just wanted to put in a wee sort of, sorry it's not all in a oneer, but you know, real life is getting in the way. Anyway, thanks for watching. I should probably follow all the socials just now, since we didn't say it because it's not happened. It's all very confusing. Anyway, go and follow Fuck It List Podcast on, Instagram, TikTok, obviously whatever you're watching on or listening on. And obviously Obi's socials at Obi Comedian. Mikey's are probably, I can't remember them, but I'll put them here. You can follow me if you want. Whatever mine is, Cowbell Chris on Instagram, whatever else. Thanks for watching, and make sure you see the 10.5 on Sunday. It's going to be a belter. Thank you. Bye bye.